I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hello, back.
I'm still recording, by the way, so...
Yeah, so was I.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
We did the
We
clap
got a nice little gap
I brought a blankie, because I'm getting a little cold. 'Tis the season.
Oh, you don't...
I got my Widow
Let me
blankie.
stop that early. My instincts kicked in. I went to bully.
No, that's good. I did call it blankie. Like a fucking
did.
child.
That's why we're
Sorry, let me
watching
talk like an
Taro.
adult. I'm a blanket-pilled cozy cell right now.
There you go. Now that's grown up.
now I'm grown up. Now I'm a functional member of society that everybody
I'm
loves
quilt
and
maxing.
appreciates. Yeah.
Quilt. Yeah. What the fuck are we doing? We're recording a podcast.
Ultraman number 6!
ウルトラの父がいるウルトラの母がいるそして太郎がここにいる空を見ろ星を見ろ宇宙を見ろ彼方から迫り来る赤いヒーロー飛び立つ太郎が戦う太郎ウルトラマン太郎
Hello, you are listening to Ultra Q, episode 79. My name is Red. I'm joined by Mel.
Help, I'm being chased through this amusement park by the village mob.
No, we will not be helping you. We will, however, be putting you on a precarious cable car.
Oh. Hope Goro doesn't show
Good luck.
up.
Yeah. You will have to get saved by
Nanbara,
Yowie
of all
Hands.
people.
By Nanbara and Yowie Hands Ultraman Taro. Brad is also here.
12 years ago, a nine-tailed fox suddenly appeared. If you believe it.
I almost did that joke.
Man.
You can make so many good sadness and sorrow edits of that episode.
It's so good. Right. The thing about Naruto is, why the fuck were they so mean to that kid? Why? What?
Listen, when
Why
you have
the
a
fuck?
kid who's around that embodies your 9/11, everyone just thinks the kid has bad vibes.
But I think the funniest the observation that people have really latched onto is like Saratobi really promised Naruto's dad that he would look after him. He didn't do fucking shit.
He did not do that.
He did not do that.
Don't worry,
guess-
I'll put him in the system I run. That's taking care of him.
It's taking care. He lives on his own, drinking spoiled milk.
look
Naruto's
at that
fucking stupid.
There's part of me that really wants to, like, just as I work, rewatch Naruto.
Why?
Just to have
I say
background
this as a kind of as a semi Naruto defender.
See, here's the things. I'll get like a decent chunk of the way to Shippuden. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I hate this."
Are you defending Naruto from the FMA fans?
You know what? I am defending Naruto from the FMA fans. Naruto less morally abhorrent.
I just don't understand why.
All you have to do is not involve genuinely like evil events, and suddenly you can do the regular shonen thing and without being morally irresponsible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I can't believe Scar is a monster, not like that nice guy Roy Mustang.
not like that nice guy Roy Mustang. Okay. We're getting sidetracked fucking immediately.
Yes,
We are here to talk about 3 episodes of Ultraman Taro. Coming up, we have got Sadness and Sorrow. We have got fucking... What was mine? What was the... Oh, right,
I think that speaks to your episode.
The Ocarina episode. And your episode, which was... What was the...
Taro gets beheaded.
Oh, he fucking does. That girl fucking goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be getting to all of those in a little bit. For now, we're going to do our usual shit. What have we been up to? Hang on.
I know what you've been doing.
I should start. Well, okay. What have I been doing?
You've been shaping Europe as you see fit, I think.
I would not call it Europe. I would call it a portion of Ireland. I fell down the Crusader Kings hole.
Let's go.
How
are those turn-based battles?
As much as you can when you have a real job. Which is not that much.
Oh, well,
what was your question, sorry?
Yeah, well, answer that one, then I have a follow-up to that.
How are those turn-based battles?
They're not turn-based.
Yeah.
They take a very long time.
Yes.
The Crusader Kings, the like digital manual that I read was like, now we're aware that battles don't usually take this long, but you must imagine that this does not just encompass the main battle, but rather the campaign. And I was like, okay, Crusader Kings, I'll buy it, whatever you say. Medieval battles take like 10 days. Okay, sure.
I really enjoyed your how much I could play while still having a job, because when I got Crusader Kings 2 Brain for the first time, a friend had gifted it to me because I believe he bought a Humble Bundle that included like the base game, but he didn't want it because like he's just like, I'm not a strategy game guy. Here, Brad, you have this. So I was like, okay, and like I had heard of Hearts of Iron and watched like a YouTuber I like do like a playthrough of it, so I kind of was familiar, but I was like, okay, let's give this a shot. I put in 65 hours my first week. I was in college at the time, and a friend from that same group messaged me on Discord or on Skype at the time. This is how long ago it was, and it was like, "Hey man, are you okay? We're getting kind of worried."
Lol.
Oh my god.
Like, you're not depressed, right? I was like, no, this is just a very fun game. I'm sorry. I'll go back to socializing with you again.
It is simultaneously very, very Moorish, while also being...
Actually, those are in
less...
Spain.
Oh, was that, sorry? Oh, yes, shut the fuck up. I will be doing that at some point. I will be attempting to resist... I will be attempting to resist the Reconquista, just because that seems like... Because I was like, you know, sure, I could, like, play the Third Crusade or whatever, but, like, you know, Saladin wins that one, so, you know, I'm that's not... If I'm gonna play as, like, a Muslim faction, I think I'm gonna play as someone in Spain trying to survive the Reconquista. That'd be good.
You could do the fourth you can do the Fourth Crusade in this game too, which is funny.
That is funny. That's a good crusade. That's one of the really funny ones.
That's a good crusade. What a quote.
Yeah, it is. Listen. I'll get into in a little bit about my history. Is, you know what, Crusader Kings 2 combined with the movie that I accidentally rewatched last night make for a good combo in terms of my perspective on my interest in history transforming slowly into all of this is a very dark comedy and I have a great time reading about it. So yeah, I've been playing because I played the like tutorial, which was like 40 years of the set in the movie El Cid. So I was playing as the brother that betrays the other in El Cid. Long time listeners may remember I watched the movie El Cid and thought it was hilarious.
I was thinking I should watch the movie.
It contains ideology I think you will find reprehensible. I also think it's a pretty fun movie. I can see there's a compelling narrative in there, even if I'm like, well, this narrative is like probably bad.
Me watching that Gundam movie.
Yeah. Oof.
But yes,
Crusader Kings. That's strike two. That's strike two. Third one and you're gone. You're off the podcast you invented.
You can't get me out of here. I have the color timers.
The only recognition happening here is the podcast host lineup.
Oh my god.
Pride, though.
Fuck.
That's straight now.
So, after I did that tutorial, in which I mostly just cucked a lot of men and used their wives to kill them, I then started up a playthrough in Ireland, in Munster, because I have heard that Ireland is like tutorial island. And I was like, that sounds great for me, because I wanted to do that anyway. I started, I did a 1066 start, which seems like maybe that's late for Ireland. Maybe you don't want to be doing that with Ireland. Maybe you want to be doing one of the earlier starts that I have available to me. But you know, I'm still doing all right. I'm having a good time. I am learning. I am learning the game. There are things to learn. It has been very enjoyable encountering this game and playing it and being like, this is... I'm going to use the word serious here, and I'm aware of Crusader Kings 2's reputation as a very funny game. And it is, but it is also it's like a serious like game about feudalism.
Yeah.
The reason it's funny is because because of the incongruity of us and like our the political systems we're familiar with encountering the things that make sense when you are a ruler of a feudal realm.
Yeah.
like what makes sense when you're a king and you're dealing with your vassals. If you take a step back and have a look at what makes sense to you, you're like, this is inherently ridiculous. But it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, you want to win the game, right?
Winning the game, yeah. So as far as I can tell, there is no winning the game, even though it gives you points.
Yes.
I think that's funny.
That's one of the things that was my major shift with that game, was realizing, I need to be treating this as a sandbox of fucking around and finding out that I get scored on at the end, and not I want to like do the civilization victory thing. And that game becomes so much more enjoyable and opens up in ways you don't expect when you like internalize that.
Yeah. One of the things about this game being real time that I have encountered is that while I was trying to get to this earlier and I think I got sidetracked with something, is that while it is like a game that you can play for a very long time, it is not because of... And I encountered this playing like Gladius, and like when I've played Civ at some point in the past, like years ago. I can't remember which one, but it was ages ago. It was ages and ages ago. Which is and you see people use this as like a marketing term. I've seen this in other hex-based like 4X games that I was like, oh, I don't like that when they've talked about that. Oh, the one more turn design. And I was like, that feels evil that you're using that for marketing. I don't like that because I've experienced it and it's very real, and it is like, it does suck all the time in your life away. Is like, well, one more turn is 5 minutes. So like, I can do another turn right now. And then you get to the end of that one, and you're like, well, one more turn is 5 minutes. And then before long, it's like 5 a.m. And you're like, oh, I should have gone to bed ages ago. And Crusader Kings 2 is this real-time thing. There is something to it that is very enthralling, and you do get caught up in it and spend loads of time. But that specific part of like a turn-based 4X game is not there. And that is something that really... gross, like, is a little gross to me. I've just been having a good time with Crusader Kings 2. I've been learning how to like manage a succession a little bit better. Just stuff. The other thing I've done this week...
I just want to springboard off
go
that
for it.
because this past on Friday, my friend took me by the hand and got me to try Total War for the first time. With Total War Rome 2, which was an interesting experience. We're still early in the campaign. We're doing like I guess it's technically like not co-op the way it works, but we're playing it as co-op because we can do what we want.
Mm-hmm.
And it is weird because I guess it is a turn-based thing, so it is kind of that one more turn thing, which did make the thing go by time. Also, having to wait for the other player to do a turn and then you have to do your turn does make things take a bit longer.
Ooh, I don't know if I'd like that.
So I just like, well, I have this 3DS here, so I'm gonna boot up Kid Icarus Uprising for a bit while I win.
Yeah, multiplayer Total War games is like... Well, I've heard of people doing that, and I'm just like, I could never.
Yeah.
That's single player game to me.
It does feel
only...
like this is a thing where it'd go by faster if I was playing single player. I haven't gotten to the part where I actually do the battles yet, because I was like... Because I was playing as Egypt.
Okay.
And I was fighting against... I was immediately at war with Cyrenica, which is a much smaller country next to me. And
so you could just auto-battle
yeah, I just
everything?
auto-battle. I was like, listen, I'm not going to bother. And like, I think I have one more battle to conquer the country, which will require actually battling, but I was like, it's late. I'm not going to fucking learn the battle system now. But it was interesting. I do think, like, there was fun in, like, oh, you get to your turn, you get to, like, do the... Oh, I can build a new thing, I can go towards a tech tree, I can, like... There's a fun element to it, but there is something I like about the Paradox style where it is real time, and like, yeah, there's a timer, but it's like a more like a free-flowing timer.
The ultimate appeal of Total War is like the RTS element within the broader context.
like the thing that's the reason you play Total War is like you have like this really simplified world map, and like you get to do the nitty-gritty battles as a means of like advancing that, which does seem neat. It just seemed cool, but it is funny looking at like the map comparatively and then comparing it to like a Paradox title and going, this is like a kind of a joke in comparison. It is like the play school version of the map.
Yeah.
Like seeing like
it's
seeing like how the Hellenistic factions are presented with like a lot of abstractions and like Egypt has like Cyprus as a vassal carrying this territory and like the Seleucid Empire is like this small territory, but they have a bunch of like vassals representing like the different satraps, and I'm like, that's not real. And it's kind of goofy, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I have a bunch of like older Total. Well, I say I have. I have access to them.
Yeah.
Officer.
I have a bunch of Total Wars. I just haven't played them, and
Let's
like
see what
I feel
Total
like
Wars I own.
I do want to play like Three Kingdoms and Medieval 2 and like Shogun 2. And
Three Kingdoms is the one that I've got on like lined up for next year.
I remember back in the day, Shogun 2 was a very common, like, oh, if you want to get into it, Shogun 2 is a good, like, learning place one.
Yeah.
Maybe I should give that a go.
It seems like a good game. From what people say.
I'm obviously I'm biased because I'm just like, you know, I played Rome. I played Medieval Total War. I played the OG Shogun Total War at my uncle's place.
I'd be down to try Rome 1 and Medieval 1 too as well.
Medieval 1 is fantastic. Also, it's also runs on fucking anything because it's tiny.
I own Total War Napoleon. I didn't even know this existed.
When I was like doing some
that's
research,
an expansion of Empire.
No, Napoleon's standalone.
Oh, standalone expansion?
No, it's just standalone.
Okay.
It's a different game.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, when I was doing some research, it does seem like Medieval 2 isn't a replacement for Medieval 1. They're just like both good games people like for different reasons. So
That's neat.
But yeah, I also hopefully would like to try the Koei strategy games too. As a comparison.
So, I did Crusader Kings. Before I move on to my other historical thing, I just mentioned I started reading fucking The Final Empire, which is the first Mistborn novel, just like audiobook. I moved because I finished the thing the definition of mid. What's it called? Eye of the World. It was the definition of mid. Well, I will continue with it.
I've read the prologue of this book and nothing more.
Oh, of the Final Empire. Yeah. It's okay so far. It's like whatever. I don't think he should. I think he should stop writing action scenes. Like he wrote like a fight scene using like Mistborn powers, and I was like, this is not Hunter x Hunter, bro. This is a book. This is please stop this immediately.
What's the name of the book?
This is so the book is called The Final Empire, but it's mostly just called Mistborn these days. It's like the first book in the Mistborn trilogy. It's a Brandon Sanderson novel. It's like his breakout hit.
Yeah. He gets very anime. Like, so the one book I've read of his, like, to completion that I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I, like, actually really like this one was the first one I read by him, which is The Way of Kings.
I hear that his the Stormlight ones are the like the ones that are huge.
Yes.
They're like
1,000 pages.
They're like his shit. They're like his good. That's the good shit. Also, maybe some of his like standalone ones. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, like the prologue of that is so the prologue of, because it's a 10-book series, we're planned to be 10-book series broken out into like 2 arcs, and the prologue of every of the like all of the first 5 books is the same night, which is the assassination of a king, and each prologue is told from a different character's perspective of that night. And the first book, you get the perspective of actually it's his bodyguard, but it a lot of cool detailed like action sequences of like a guy with gravity powers just ruining people's day. And like when he's firing on like cylinders like that, I'm like, okay, fuck yeah. But then there are other times where it's just like, oh, I don't need the blow by blow, and I wish you would stop.
I think I'm more or less like by default I'm like, do not give me blow by blow action ever. I just do not like it. What joke did I just miss that you just said?
I think it's because we said blow.
Okay. I didn't hear what was said, and I was like, Mel said that like it was a joke, and I was like, I've missed something.
You'll hear it back.
Okay. So yeah, I'm reading that book. It's okay. It's, you know, it's a shonen manga, but with like
a Western fantasy book.
Yeah, but in the context of a fantasy novel. So you know, you could get away with doing that apparently in 2005 or something. The thing I did last night that I didn't mean to do was at like past midnight, I accidentally started watching a war movie, and then it's a 3-hour long war movie, and so I went to bed at like 4 a.m.
Let's go.
But yeah, I rewatched A Bridge Too Far, which is a war movie. It's a World War II movie. I really like it. If you've ever used the phrase, if you've ever referred to something as being, you know, that's too much as A Bridge Too Far, this is the context of the phrase "a bridge too far" is about a military operation that goes bad in World War II, called Market Garden, and the movie is about. I've described the movie on Blue Sky, I believe, as watching like 20 to 30 A-list actors trying to solve a Sudoku after someone off screen a week ago already put in a wrong number. And it's just everyone like trying to solve this impossible problem with like grit and ingenuity, and at the end of the day, it just doesn't fucking work. It's like it's like so cool to make a cynical war movie about World War II, because World War II is such an easy movie to be like, this was the good one.
Yeah.
This was the one where everyone was a hero. No. Britain was not a hero in World War II. Not really. It's good. There's a lot of like, this is a movie that knows that being British is inherently a little bit silly. It's good. I like A Bridge Too Far. It's funny. There's a moment where Sean Connery shoots a guy, and it's a joke. It's like I've seen someone say like, oh, it's so unintentionally funny, and I'm like, what do you mean unintentionally? There's a German guy walks past the window and then peeks back in like, did I just see Sean Connery? And then Sean Connery shoots him. It's really fucking good. I'll find that scene, put it in the Discord later. I like A Bridge Too Far a lot. It's great because like the opening intro is like this newsreel footage, and a woman, like this is the voice of like a real woman who was involved, and she's like a Dutch woman, and she's like talking about like, oh yeah, this is like the last stages of World War II, and there's a race to Berlin, and there's like personal pride at stake between like Monty and Patton. Like the commanders at the top of the Western Front are like competing with each other. They don't fucking like each other, and each of them wants to be the one who wins. And then it's like, and this daring plan is you know, it's supposed to bring the boys home before Christmas, and then the title hits, and it's like A Bridge Too Far, and then it just reels off like fucking Michael Caine is in this movie, Sean Connery is in this movie, Anthony Hopkins is in this movie, Gene Hackman is in this movie doing a terrible Polish accent. A Bridge Too Far is great. I had a great time with it. I always do. That's me.
Speaking of iconic actors in World War II movies, I watched a movie that had Private Ryan in it, but not playing Private Ryan, because instead of watching Saving Private Ryan, I watched Goodwill Hunting.
Okay, well, that was a bit of a stretch. We watched a Matt Damon movie, but we'll give it to you. You're allowed.
I mean, I've seen Goodwill Hunting before, but I've been doing slow, monotonous work, and I've been needing stuff to watch, and, you know, something ideally I don't need to, like, read subtitles for, just something I can put on and listen to in the background. So I went, fuck it. It's been a while since I've seen Goodwill Hunting. Let's just throw that on. It's weird seeing young Ben Affleck. I said Bad Affleck. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Bad Affleck.
Yes. No, but young Ben...
Baby, I could be Ben Affleck or I could be the Bad Affleck.
No, I said Bat, because that's what people were calling him, because he was Batman. Affleck. Yeah. No,
he is Batman.
Young Ben Affleck is so, like... I'm so used to old Ben Affleck now, you know what I mean? So just seeing him in that role again, it's like, damn. See, Matt Damon, whenever I see young Matt Damon, I'm just like, that's him in his natural state. But yeah, you know what? Controversial opinion, still a pretty good movie. Sometimes drama is really good when just everyone wants the best for everyone else, but they have different ideas about what the best is, and because of their own hang-ups, they get into arguments about it. And it's just a really, really great coming-of-age film. Not much to say on it, but, you know, Robin Williams kills it. Just a nice movie. And, you know, I wish we got more of those these days. Just my humble opinion. But, you know... State of Hollywood. More CGs. Yeah.
You need another Megalopolis immediately.
Yeah, the scene in that movie where Ben Affleck... I posted a meme making fun of this, but when you're older, the scene where Matt Damon, or like Will, is just talking like, yeah, I mean, I figure I'm just gonna, you know... have a kid and like take him to baseball practice and you know, watch the game with you, you know, that'll be like my adulthood or whatever. And Ben Affleck just goes, if you're still around coming over to my house in 20 years, I'm gonna fucking kill you. That's not a threat, that's a promise. I'm gonna fucking kill you. You need to do something with your life. It's so good. That's a good friend.
I got a friend that I gotta do that to sometime.
I need someone to do that to me.
Damn.
Does this to you?
Oh no.
If you're still talking about Ultraman into a microphone in 10 years, we're gonna kill now.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of Ultraman.
But yeah, good movie. I guess I've had a Will-themed week because the other thing I did,
This is another stretch, but we'll see where it goes.
I fucking beat Lingering Will in Kingdom Hearts 2.
That's a little... Okay.
Along with doing...
You called this Lingering William?
Yeah, Lingering William. That's what I've been calling him. No, have I explained to you my bigger will theory for video games?
Your bigger will theory?
Yeah, no, I've tweeted this before.
What?
So...
Well, I have you muted, so...
True. We've established this. So, in Elden Ring, there's the Greater Will. In Megami Tensei, you get Great Will. And then in Kingdom Hearts 2, you have Lingering Will. My theory is that these are all the same William, who just keeps showing up place to place.
Oh, I understand.
Yes. Bigger will theory. So yeah, I did the hardest boss in Kingdom Hearts 2. I also did the other super bosses, the data versions of the Organization 13. And then also, lesser talked about, but also requirement for getting the best version of the secret ending, the Mushroom 13, who are these 13 weird little mushroom guys that show up after a certain point of the game, just around, like you have to go track them down, and they each have an annoying gimmick associated with them, like, oh, combo this one in the air for 85 hits. Which is bafflingly one of the hardest things to do in that game. I got 84 hits and then dropped the combo, and I wanted to die. Most mad at video games made me in some time. The Data Organization 13 fights I'll talk about first, because you kind of do them leading up to Lingering Will, if you want to do them by difficulty. Very fun fights. They took me anywhere from about, I would say, 2 minutes to an hour and a half. Some of them are harder than others. And basically they're just souped up versions of bosses you've fought already. The main difference being that they have much more health, they hit harder, but then as part of that, each of those fights has like a desperation move, is what they're called in the community, where the screen goes dark and then they'll do like a really fucked up, like big long combo attack. And if you're playing the game normally, even on the harder difficulties, there's a lot of times where you can finish the fight before that they'll activate that, and just get away with not having to deal with it. Mm-hmm. Unless you're really doing the cheesy strats where you're like stun locking them until they're dead, which I kind of avoided doing just because I wanted the more natural experience. You're gonna have to deal with it at least once, and then if you fumble the bag afterwards, probably a second time as well. So it actually is like a wake-up call, like, oh no, I need to learn how to deal with all of these fights and their gimmicks, and really figure out what the game wants from me. And it's a great time. And the way I worded it in a different server is that the harder fights in Kingdom Hearts 2 I really enjoy because they hit you with a stick on the hand, like, hard enough to go, hey, don't do that. And you actually need to adapt and learn what you need to do, but they never are so hard that they last so long that the repeat attempts feel tiring or frustrating. Mm-hmm. At least for me, doing all this on critical mode. Lingering William, on the other hand, 5.5 hours this fucking fight took. I don't know if you're watching. Ooh. I don't know if you're watching the video I linked, but this guy's patterns are ridiculous. He has, I would say, a series of 7 attacks or so that he alternates between. Sometimes he'll just do one of them in a row over and over and over again, like in this fight. He keeps doing the fucking hover car thing. Other times he'll just vary it up, and it's also very annoying because it's not like he'll do an attack and then oh, I have a guaranteed punish after this attack where I can go in for a combo. Sometimes he'll just string some stuff together, and you just need to react and adapt on the fly to, actually confirm visually, okay, he stopped moving for a bit, I can go in for the attack. Granted, this is a very rewarding fight. I would say difficulty-wise, this reminded me most of doing Orphan of Kos for the first time in Bloodborne.
Ooh.
That same level of just, for the first 30 minutes, you're attempting it, and you're going, this might be impossible.
Who the fuck can do this?
Yes, and then the next 30 minutes...
I think I've got the first time I beat Orphan of Kos somewhere on YouTube.
I have it on my PS4 as a shared clip, but I don't have it on YouTube, I don't think. But yeah, like, you go from first 30 minutes, this is impossible, what they're asking of me, to, okay, no, I can see where I can get some hits in, to, okay, I'm going to learn how to counter every fucking thing this guy does, and then it's just a matter of getting the good run, right? So yeah, I am officially done with Kingdom Hearts 2, got the secret ending that teases all the Birth by Sleep stuff, which is a game I will not be playing for some time, because I have to play the other spin-offs first, and the remake of Chain of Memories, which I historically don't like, but I'm gonna attempt to go to that game with an open heart. We'll see if I like it this time around.
That's the spirit of Kingdom Hearts, I assume.
True.
Yeah.
Well, the spirit of this game is, when people are different than you, you just gotta take them out, and it's sad, but there's nothing we can do about it.
Oh, Ultraman.
Oh, Ultraman.
Yeah. Listen, it's okay. They don't have personalities.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Don't worry about it when they cry when they're sad. The longer I've sat with Kingdom Hearts 2's story, the more I'm just like, they just did not... Maybe 13 guys was too much, is what I'll say. In fact, so much so that not all 13 are even in the game, and there's still too many guys.
I'll see you when I get there.
Yeah, sometimes having multiple versions of characters, but not enough cutscene time to go around is a problem. And I'm excited for the spin-offs to give those characters more wiggle room to feel fleshed out, because... as it stands, I've killed a lot of these dudes, and I feel like they got, like, 6 lines each, and that maybe isn't enough. So... but yeah, I'm taking a Kingdom Hearts break for now. I need to get back to other things. I have a backlog bingo to complete. And...
all I have to do is beat Resident Evil.
Nice. I got some stuff that I need to get into. Oh, actually, so... this is actually something I sadly need to off-put, but remember when I said I was going to have a Psycho-Pass-related tangentially thing to discuss?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to hold that off till next week, because it will be better for me to do that then.
Do I get to know what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes...
are you going to message it instead of say it? Okay.
Sometimes you think you've watched something, and you didn't.
Okay.
Remember how I said that I'm like, oh yeah, I think I've seen the first few episodes of Psycho-Pass?
Had you not?
I have not.
What had you watched?
I think it'll be funnier if you wait.
Oh my god.
Look forward to next week.
Do you have any guesses?
Okay, hang on. Ooh, something to do. So it's gotta have a cool gun. I feel like you can't, like, mistake Psycho-Pass for something that doesn't have a signature gun in it. Blam.
No.
Okay.
It's more about the vibe than maybe any individual element.
Was it Ghost in the Shell Solid State Society?
No, but that's closer.
Hang on, it's got to be a fucking. Let me.
You're getting one more, and then we're moving on.
Production. All right, let me look at production.
Ghost in the Shell Arise, the follow-up to Ghost in the Shell Berseria.
No, it's not Ghost in the Shell.
Let me see here.
Dominion Tank Police.
I'm having one last.
Cyberpunk Edge Runners. No, that's...
This is getting comical. It'll be so much funnier when I reveal it.
Oh, Ego Proxy?
Yes.
Ego Proxy?
Yes.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
We're good.
It was Ergo Proxy. I'll talk about it next week.
That's... Ergo Proxy's, it's got a vibe.
It's got a Radiohead song in the credits. Rules.
It does? Oh.
Yeah, they have Paranoid Android as the ending.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Not in every re-release, though. I think that's like a home release only thing. Like, if you watch it on Crunchy or wherever the fuck it is, they replace it with some generic shit.
Oh, naturally.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Which sucks. That song is... guy whose favorite band is Radiohead voice. I think Paranoid Android's a good song, sue me. But yeah.
Damn. Controversial.
I know.
Position.
I know. My real controversial Radiohead opinion is that Hail to the Thief is their best album, but, I do have one last thing that I'll talk about. I guess, like,
Okay.
briefly enough. So I've been trying to get back into reading, as I've discussed on this podcast. So I picked up The Last Dangerous Visions. Famous sci-fi anthology book, third in a trilogy of anthology books, collected by Harlan Ellison, that was supposed... So, do either of you know the story of The Last Dangerous Visions?
No.
No.
Okay, so, in one of the big things that got Harlan Ellison on the map back in the day, everyone knows him now as the I have no mouth and I must scream, or the a boy and his dog guy. But back in the day, one of the bigger things that he did was he reached out to a bunch of different people working in science fiction writing at the time and went, we deserve better than what the magazines give us or what publishing really wants from us, because it was getting formulaic, it was getting kind of old, still trapped in like 50s sensibilities. And he got together what is now considered the original wave of I believe it was the new wave science fiction writing boom, where he got a bunch of people to write stories that were a little sexier, a little edgier, a little darker, and way more politically charged. And then he collected it in a volume called Dangerous Visions. That's where the name comes from. Incredibly successful, changed the shape of what people expected from science fiction writing, and then he followed it up later with an even larger volume called, again, Dangerous Visions. Obviously didn't change the genre because it's the second time around doing it, but still critically acclaimed, a lot of famous writers involved with it, successful. And then, later on, he goes, hey, I'm gonna do a third one called The Last Dangerous Visions. Doesn't get around to it, buys a bunch of stories up to put it in the collection, but never gets around to actually compiling the thing or putting it together. It becomes sort of a running joke in the community, like, oh yeah, The Last Dangerous Visions, kind of like a Duke Nukem Forever thing. Harlan Ellison dies, and then the person who becomes the person in charge of the estate, I'm forgetting the proper term for it right now, is J. Michael Straczynski. Otherwise known as the Babylon 5 guy. I almost said Babylon's Fall, I'm gonna be honest. Not that.
Babylon's Fall.
No, not that. But he was close friends with Harlan Ellison, and he's been in charge of republishing a lot of his stuff. They put out like a Harlan Ellison Greatest Hits like story collection thing recently. And something I've been pretty impressed by, and mostly is going to be the core of what I'm talking about here, is that the introductions and primers that they put at the start of these things are shockingly honest, I would say, about Harlan Ellison as a man, in a way that kind of gets around the myth-making and like, oh, he's a funny, old, angry guy, sort of mythologizing that's been done about him. Importantly, and I think this is something that doesn't get talked about enough, there was a award ceremony in the 2000s where there was a award that was being given to him, and he and the person, I can't remember, like the announcer, whoever was hosting the award, were playing around, doing stuff on stage, and then he went in and he groped her in front of an audience, and that was not okay.
Oh, is this is the Ursula Le Guin's? Yes.
It wasn't Ursula K. Le Guin.
There was an incident where he, I think this might be a Hugo Award speech or something, where was it?
It was the name of the person.
Oh, was it Connie Willis?
Yes, Connie Willis was who it was.
It was, Doomsday Book author. That's the one.
Yes. And it was just on, like, it's on YouTube. Like, he just did it at the Hugo Awards in front of everyone. And the J. Michael Straczynski, friends with both of these people, details in, detail, like, the conversation he had with Harlan Ellison afterwards, about, like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? This was a friend. That's not okay. You can't act like this. And also to the other people that they have doing the intros for these books, talking about, like, how do you square the legacy of this man that, like, did that while also, like, simultaneously was someone who, like, marched with Martin Luther King Jr. and working through their emotions as people who were friends and colleagues with him, and sorting through how they feel about these things. J. Michael Straczynski's is actually a much more in-depth, like, 60 to 80 page He calls it Ellison Exegesis is the name of his thing, but it's a full detail about how he came to be the guy who was in charge of Ellison's estate after his passing, and him going from a fan to a friend to someone who was in the close circle of him in the last few years of his life, where basically what Straczynski gets into is that Harlan Ellison was someone who everyone wanted to be friends with, because he was, a big name in sci-fi at the time, and everyone wanted to have that, credit or to get in on that clout. However, towards the end of the 80s, he basically stopped writing because he was dealing with undiagnosed bipolar disorder, and severe depression, and he was just losing touch with the world in a extremely dire way. And people were trying to get him help. People were trying to get him to see a therapist. He increasingly could not tell the difference between what was and was not appropriate. There are multiple incidences they talk about where he would be over at their house, and because he was in that depression state, he would just be in a bathrobe, and he wouldn't get why other people would be uncomfortable when he disrobed or was exposing himself. He just lost it. And then they talk about the very frustrating and elongated process of actually getting him to finally talk to a mental health professional after a suicide attempt. And then when things started to finally look like they were maybe turning around, because he was an older man, he had a stroke and passed away and stuff like that. And J. Michael Straczynski is basically just talking about how frustrating it is to kind of have, the myth of the man live, when the reality is, this guy spent decades of his life kind of letting the people around him down, while still trying to square and acknowledge, hey, this guy did do a lot of good and important things, and also, even beyond the work. He tells a lot of stories about, he would just go out of his way to help people that were, in dire need of, assistance. He would stop the car to, go give people money that were, on the side of the road that clearly needed, help and that sort of thing. But then also, too, being honest about the fact, this guy, because of his refusal to deal with his condition, did end up hurting a lot of people. And we need to acknowledge that was something that was wrong, and there needs to be more awareness. Hey, if you are in that position, it is your obligation to go get help so that you're not also causing harm to the people around you. And it's just very honest and open in a way that I did not expect necessarily from how a lot of the times we talk about the quote-unquote great figures that are kind of genre or industry defining in, creative fields like this. But yeah, the stories themselves, which I've been reading as well, pretty good. They're fun. They're fun, reads quickly before bed, as I'm falling asleep. I'll probably have more cohesive thoughts on them as I wrap the book up. I'm still, in the first fourth or so. But, yeah, it was just interesting reading about a guy whose downward spiral happened for as long as I was alive on this earth for. And just being damn. Mental health is rough sometimes. So yeah. Fascinating opening to a book that's probably, for all intents and purposes, the capstone of that dude's bibliography. Do recommend it. It's a good time so far. All
right. Well, Mel, what have you been up to?
To be honest, I haven't been up to much. It's just been a busy week. Most I can say is I caught up to Kamen Rider Gavv, not barring the episode that aired yesterday. And the show's good. They're cooking. The direction they seem to be both. Well, first of all, the secondary rider showed up, chocolate build. He's got a revenge plot going, which is fun.
The chocolate themed revenge plot.
Yeah, his name is Valen.
This show seems strange.
Yeah, it's it is a curious mix of the aesthetic theming just clashing with what they're doing with the story, but they somehow mostly make it work.
They thread the needle.
You do have to suspend your disbelief for a little bit when he puts the gummy in his stomach mouth, and then he turns the handle and it makes a circus jingle, and then the dramatic rider fight happens.
Yeah.
but you know, they have the classic writer staple. Oh, you have to have surgery to become a writer. Is writer also the monster? He cries, kind of thing. But they're also doing the fun thing that is
just like he cries kind of thing.
yeah. Well, the mask is the tears on the eyes, right?
Yeah, it's baked in.
It's baked in. They're doing the fun thing that's like a very in a way pilled, where like they don't know each other's identities, so their relationship as writers and their relationship as like people is like completely different and separated, and it's funny.
It's the Batman and Catwoman classic.
Yeah, here's like from the last episode I saw. There's just like a interaction between them where they're talking to each other in civilian forms. They can't tell if the other one is caught on to them as being writers.
Great. This is a great face.
This is... Oh.
No way I can let him find out who I am. No way I can let him find out who I am.
There's like these the episode starts with them two meeting on a rooftop, and they try and cryptically give each other like statements, like trying to get what they can out of the between the lines of what the other person's saying, while only giving off a little bit. Well, and then they completely misread their lines. Limits what the other person's saying, where it shows them like acting coolly and like very like stoically, and meanwhile you get their internal monologue where they're like freaking out. It's like, wait a minute, okay. It's just a
nice, really
fun, ridiculous stuff. Like this.
Let's freaking go. He didn't suspect a thing.
I love the soft filter over all of these images you've sent.
Yeah, because it's just showing their like internal thoughts.
Yeah. It adds a lot to the to
important
the
context.
funniness.
I should have given like the first one I sent you where they're like having the internal monologue. This is the thing they're immediately doing in the frame before this.
Excellent.
And so yeah, we're getting more stuff, like classic writer stuff. I think one thing that's interesting is like that one people noticed that like because it's like a mafia gang basically selling drugs as like the villains. The monsters of the week are like just guys who are like junkies who get like maybe sent to a job.
Okay. Basically,
but also like the whereas like the actual like the mooks are like the workers, the employees of the organization, and so they're actually more competent at fighting, which is a fun reversal. And like the fight choreography is pretty good. Yeah, it's fun. Like they do a good job with like designing the texture work on like the suits to just be like the chocolate rider suit actually looks like really good in a way that you wouldn't expect.
Excellent.
Yeah. So far so good. Enjoying it. We'll see how it goes.
Nice.
But it seems to be doing nice stuff.
This is fucking stupid armor.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this design.
Listen. Have you seen the Guyver designs?
I like what I've seen of the Guyver designs, actually.
I will at some point be seeing the Guyver designs in detail, as I have to watch that show.
I'm just saying that like these are goofy, but like given the theme, they're like more cool looking than you expect.
Okay.
I think, in my opinion. Like,
all right.
The Guyver guys are fruits, so they make that work. But this one does definitely like a little more goofy in comparison. But I like it. They're doing good stuff. We'll see where it goes.
The bit of Guyver that I'll always appreciate is how like weirdly quick people adjust to like the status quo of there's like weird shit happening all the time now. What a show! I need to finish it.
I haven't seen it in years.
Honestly, at this point, same.
It's probably been like almost 10 years since I've seen Kamen.
All right.
Which fucks me up.
Was that everything you had? Yes,
that's
yes
from me.
is allowed. Yeah, you're busy.
Yeah,
Busy is
getting
busy.
educated.
unfortunately.
Damn.
Like some sort of book reading nerd.
Yeah.
You just made me think of Fauna going off with on the fucking the TTRPG session that they did.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet. Does she go off on book readers?
It's good Fauna content.
Okay.
It's real good. So doing a southern accent and calling her ex-husband a Rizless beta male.
Okay, I do need to watch that then.
All right. Before we get into talking about Taro, I guess I should say what I thought about Taro last week and also Guyver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, wait. First, I want to give
Yeah.
important news bulletin. This past week, Keizo Murase, who's done like suit work for kaiju stuff, including on this season, passed away. So
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Rest in peace. All right. So, what were the fucking Taro episodes last week? I forgot.
The cavity.
The cavity. Nanbaro's Velma mom. I said dad.
Right.
And then what was the one before that? Fuck.
I did the summaries. I can actually pull them up.
It was the hot spring one, right?
Yeah, hospital.
They're in my drive.
Because we just did the two.
yeah. The hot spring episode was it was okay. There's not actually all that much happening.
Yeah.
The kaiju cavity episode, I enjoyed quite a bit, although it was ludicrous how it ended. I was thank you for reading out the sad face that I put in the summary. What the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Why'd you kill that guy? It was your fault.
I'm happy it was so egregious that like a top-down order came in to be like, we need to think about how we're doing this a little bit.
So hang on a second. This is a little much.
We're making the children cry.
Guyver 2, I had a great time with. It was. First of all, I thought I actually was fairly entertained by the secret archaeological dig stuff that was going on, and him like sneaking in and just kind of weirdly fitting in with everyone on the dig and just being like, yeah, I'm just here, I'm just trying to figure things out, and that thing where it's like he asks one of them, what are we digging up, and he reels off a thing, and then he asks his new girlfriend later, and she reels off the exact same thing, and he's like, this is like, I see, that's your cover story, what's really going on here. I thought that spaceship was cool.
Yeah.
That was some cool set stuff going on there. I was impressed with like the actual fights and stuff. I had completely forgotten that one kick that I see on Twitter sometimes is from Guyver 2. The one where he's like going for a flying kick and misses, and then uses the other foot to kick the guy in the head, the Zoanoid in the head. I have seen that GIF everywhere. I forgot. I didn't know it was in Guyver 2. So when that showed up, I was like, oh hell yeah, it's that one kick that I like. I thought the opening section where it's kind of like there's a fun thing about sequels where we don't get the original actress back who played like the OG girlfriend. There's like a weirdly like cynical realistic thing about that I always find kind of enjoyable, where it's like the end of like the first movie is like, oh, and then they got together and everything was great. It's this big moment, and then the next movie is like,
No.
oh yeah, they just broke up. They just broke up. That happens sometimes, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work out, man. So, that coming up in the movie, I was like, hey, I always like that.
Are you on board for my idea that if they make Guyver 3, he needs to break up with this lady too, and then
for a break? So I like the idea of doing Bond women, but we get to see the breakup at the beginning of every new movie.
Yes.
I think James Bond movies would be vastly improved if that happened in every single one.
In the first 10 minutes of every
in
one.
the first 10 minutes of every Bond movie, barring the ones where the woman dies at the end of the last movie. The ones where they live and they hook up, it's like, yeah, absolutely. He has to break up with them at the beginning of the movie. That would be great.
I've seen so little James Bond in my life, I didn't know that they die sometimes. That would be real.
Well, I say sometimes. There's like one very famous one, which I guess I won't spoil.
No, don't, because I can see from I'm looking right now at my boxed James Bond movie collection that I will one day go through.
Let me tell you, the good Bond, the best Bond movie is not Goldfinger. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you a lot of people.
I feel like this is fairly accepted at this point.
You'd be surprised. Only in our circles.
Yeah, I was about to say outside of like the normie realm.
Yeah. There's like a really the other thing about Bond women is those early movies. They kind of have a plan, and they've got like. There's a character that isn't Moneypenny, who is kind of Bond's, like, actual girlfriend at home.
Oh.
Like she keeps cropping up in those movies before, like, shit kicks off. He's hanging out with a woman that I can't remember her name, but it's like, it's like an on-off relationship thing. And then she just disappears. She just doesn't come back ever for some reason. Man, James Bond's weird. But yeah, Guyver 2, I had a good time. I enjoyed it.
That's good.
Yeah. I did feel a bit self-conscious we didn't have as much to say about that second movie, but I guess there wasn't as much to say, just generally.
Yeah, I mean, this is a movie.
I feel like the plot's a little thinner. Like, in terms of... They don't have as much to explain. They can just kind of get into it. Mm-hmm. It takes its time with, like, the first, like... The archaeological dig stuff is, It's a lot of suspense of, like, who's gonna find out what, so...
I like David Hayter.
Yeah.
David Hayter's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good shit.
Did you like the bonus trivia I gave last week?
Oh, could you remind me what the bonus trivia is?
That Mother of Ultra cost $1 bajillion.
Oh, right. Yeah. Hang on. What's going on there? What's the... make up your own thing. Don't spend all that money. What? For the love of God. Ridiculous. Anyway, we have three episodes.
There's like a Findom joke somewhere in here, but I don't have it in me right now to come up with one.
We don't make jokes like that here. Thank you very much.
Oh, do we not? Okay. We'll continue then. Ultraman Taro, we have 3 episodes of Ultraman Taro to talk about. I did not write all the summaries this week. I believe, Brad, you have a summary for episode, what is it? 14?
Yeah, 14. I don't know why I doubted
14.
myself. 14, Taro's head flew off.
Is that literally the title of the episode?
Yes, according to this booklet.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? They didn't have a name, and then they're like, what's the big things that happened in this one? They went, well...
Well...
Yeah.
It didn't do... Hang on. That didn't happen in the episode.
It really does. It doesn't... We see it, but it doesn't happen. Exactly. Let me explain how we got to here. Saori and Kenichi are visiting a relative's house in a different town. Kenichi almost falls off a cliff chasing after butterflies. It's a construction quarry, and a man yells at the two to leave the cliff they're standing on because it's set to blow up soon. I kind of hope you would mark it off. It seems like it's not too hard to get from the houses in the neighborhood to cliff that's about to explode.
Oi, children, where you are is about to be fucking dead. You were about to blow it the fuck up. Please leave. I'm not going to actually send people up there to remove you.
No.
I'm just going to shout at you to leave.
They just take their word for it. It's fine. The two spot a younger kid wandering around the one of the lower cliffs in the area, digging something up, apparently. So they go to question him. His name's Ryosuke, and he shows the two a creepy hole in the ground nearby. This little cave that he found, he has set up as his kaiju museum, which is full of all the fossils he's dug up in the area. Unfortunately, as the explosive charges on the cliff go off, an earthquake also happens separately from this. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't paying attention, so I thought that just suddenly, like, random explosions happened, and then the crew, like, were scared off, and I was like, wait, hold on, like, but no, they detonate the charges on the cliff as planned, but then it's followed by an earthquake, and then the crew flees. During the chaos, you can faintly hear a monster's roar. Maybe not faintly, but there's a monster's roar in the mix there. The three go out to investigate and find a buried statue has been unearthed by the earthquake. Meanwhile, Zat notices seismic activity in the area and go out to investigate. The two groups meet up, and Zat interrogates the siblings and the villagers about the recent earthquake. Ryosuke states that there must be a kaiju underground upset at the explosions, but he is immediately dismissed by the construction worker as this being a silly story. This is when Zat meets the rich and famous landowner Shimada, who is upset at them for trespassing on his property. He refuses to halt development until the investigation is complete, saying that it's important for the nation's development. As construction continues, the statue from earlier tumbles off the mountain, and the siblings plus Ryosuke retrieve it. It's a statue of Ojizo-san, buried in the mountain by Ryosuke's grandpa and his fellow villagers to serve as the town's guardian god. I believe there's a story here about how it was buried there after they had a bad, harvest, and ever since he has ensured that the plants have been growing fine. Shimada spots them and claims that the statue belongs to him, as it was technically buried on his property. I fucking hate this guy. They do a good job of making this dude hateable.
Yeah.
At his home, the statue begins to emit an ominous smoke from the mouth. Later that night, we get a zoom in of the statue, and it starts to think. We hear its internal monologue. It's currently mad that the humans have awoken it, just as it was starting to get some pretty good beauty sleep. Its eyes start to flash red, and everyone involved in the episode so far appears to have shared the exact same nightmare of the statue. This is cool as hell. I love this.
Yeah.
A little, not really, but a little bit of that, Jisoji-esque, we're getting kind of, more trippy, surreal, imagery here. It's neat.
We get some of that at the end of the episode, too.
Yeah. As the group calls Shimada, asking him to return the statue to the hill, because they think it's now the source of the problems, the kaiju burst from the mountainside. Zat attempts an aerial attack, but they get slashed out of the air by the King Yama monster's vicious sword strikes. Kenichi and Ryosuke flee into the woods, where the monster chops down tree after tree with his blade. They then get a different idea. Ueno attempts to blow up the monster with a landmine, but the explosive fails to hurt or hinder their foe. As it continues to destroy the village, Kotaro transforms into Ultraman Taro, but the monster blocks his Strium beam with its shield. The siblings and the villagers struggle with the heavy statue, trying to put it back in its rightful place. After blinding Ultraman Taro with smog breath, he decapitates our hero. However, Taro's fine. The monster's head falls off instead, and Taro defeats his foe with his signature Strium beam. The narrator helpfully explains that this is Taro's sacrifice trick. I'm always doing this. In which the Ojizo-san statue helped him trick the monster and then finish it off.
Narrator just pipes his, you fought? Hey, we got you.
I just love how he words it this is Taro's sacrifice trick. This is something everyone knows and loves.
Cuts off Ultraman Taro's head. Ultraman Taro, no way. Not this time. We got you. It's fiction. It was a total fabrication.
Have you ever found a statue buried on a mountainside? At the top
was this story based? Sorry.
Frakes would love Ultra stuff.
God, yeah.
Like we've said, we need the Ultra Q reboot that has Jonathan Frakes as the narrator.
Have you ever gotten a cigarette from a vending machine that tasted a little funny?
Oh my god.
At the top of the mountain, everyone... Have you ever gone skiing? No. At the top of the mountain... At the top of the mountain... I'm having too much fun here. At the top of the mountain, everyone says their goodbyes, and Shimada says he'll stop developing the land. The children decorate the statue, and we once again hear its internal thoughts, saying that it is happy it can once more be at peace. I really liked this episode.
This episode was fun.
This episode was good.
It felt like a retread of like the Hot Spring episode, but also executed better.
Yeah.
Yes, it does feel like a fix-up of that, yeah.
That episode feels like it's a half-baked version of 2 episodes put together. This one just feels like the baked version of a different idea.
Well, this one we also kind of get that classic, like, more, like, it ties into the local, like, folklore and, like, legends type stuff with the statue, which I really appreciated. I think they mixed the elements really well together this episode. I feel like this kid has enough personality without also, like, necessarily overtaking the episode, which I feel like sometimes can maybe happen a little bit with these stories where we get a sudden kid showing up.
Which seems to be kind of the norm for the show right now.
Yeah.
It should be the same. It should be the same actor every time, a different kid.
Yeah,
reverse Gento's son.
Were it not for next episode, I would agree with you, but we'll get into it next. I do like. So here's the thing. I talked about this a little bit in the Skipping the Queue we just recorded, where when Ultraman does, like, forms or, like, I guess more specifically, like, weapon stuff, a lot of the time I'm like, this is toyetic, and, like, I'm not really into it. They do a great job of being like, oh, this guy has a sword, he's chopping down trees, and they're falling, and they're crushing people, possibly. It doesn't actually happen, but, you know, the kids are in very real danger of having the forest basically collapse on top of them as this monster starts to chop at branches and trunks. It's great. I love this.
Mm-hmm. I like this kaiju.
It's great.
This kaiju.
I got that Kodaigon energy.
It does, and that was like my second favorite of the show.
I think
at some point we gotta watch the Daimajin movies.
That's
basically what that is. That's because that basically that is.
Oh. How do I spell this?
Dai as in like die panic, and then Majin as in, you know.
Oh, Majin. Okay, there we go. Got it. Oh yeah, this guy looks fucking sick.
Can you post in chat image for?
Yeah. Right, Helmy. Here's one. No, that's Plo Koon again. I didn't actually copy. I just
Plo Koon could show up in an Ultraman and fit right the fuck in.
Oh, he
honestly
would. Giant Plo Koon.
He does have like the look. Yeah.
This guy.
I'm really happy for all the listeners at home being like, why did Red have an image of Plo Koon on hand? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Look at this image. This is such a powerful image.
Yeah.
Just a second.
The volcano in the back is so good.
No.
Not this one?
This image. Look at this.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. This is a screenshot from a black and white movie where Daimajin is overlooking what appears to be the like a feudal Japan as like two people are like crucified. This looks fantastic.
This looks great.
Yeah, and it's 3 of them.
Yeah,
and they all came out in the same year.
In this, wait, what?
Damn,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Maybe one day, we'll see.
Maybe. So yeah, I like this kaiju a lot. I love the effect on the dreams of like it's like the images of like the heads kind of superimposed over like script, and
classic writing.
Yeah, and they're just like floating around.
Which I wish we had a translation for, but I mean,
yeah, I think like the fact that also emphasizes like the Chinese characters is also like emphasizes like the ancientness of it, especially because like originally like Japanese writing system began by just writing Chinese, and eventually they developed their own writing system. Which is interesting, like the ways katakana and hiragana developed independently of each other through that, but like that's a different tangent.
I quite like this shitty old guy. He sucks a lot.
He's like the kind of guy who'd show up in
antics.
like in a Godzilla movie as well. Like he's got an archetype.
Absolutely.
The guy who would hire Keiji Zahara to say the line "Martha gave you power of attorney."
Yeah. His terrible land development plans. The kaiju kind of turning up and like cutting down trees kind of adds to that.
yeah.
In terms of like the ruining the land, right? I think this is a good episode.
Yeah, I guess it is. We didn't get as much folklore / like Japanese aesthetic kaiju until Return of Ultraman, which is interesting. But also like
Well, what weren't they
there was
really focused on making
Yes.
that one feel like it took place in Japan? So that makes sense.
well yeah, like before, like they were trying to like make it seem more stateless. Which is why Jisoji got shipped off to
sending
Kyoto.
sending Jisoji far away, being like, oh, no, you had them sitting down at a little table, like kneeling at it, like it's in Japan. Not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Get out.
But yeah, I think like at most we got a few ghosts in LQ, but like otherwise we didn't really get like folklore stuff until Return of Ultraman.
Yeah.
And this show likes to play around with that stuff, as we'll see again in this episode, which is fun. Doing the fairy tale motif, which is nice.
Who made this episode?
Directed by Eizo Yamagiwa and then written by Toshiro Ishido.
Welcome back, Cult Man. I say welcome back like he wasn't on last week. I can't remember if he was.
He was not.
Okay. Kaiju stuff.
Special effects director is not credited. What the fuck?
Damn.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
It's cut. You know why? Because there were no special effects. This is all real.
This was all real. This was live footage.
This happened to my buddy Eric.
Yeah. Mind and body separates for 3 minutes.
I love how like last week or whatever I was like, yeah, I made a letterbox, but I'm not doing reviews because I fucking hate letterbox review humor, and then I just fucking quoted this happened to my buddy Eric. I'm an asshole.
Fucking Jonathan Frakes at the end of this episode. He's just like, this was based on an urban legend that really happened.
This one really happened.
You're right.
Me and my friends need to get back to watching that show. It's such a good time.
You were watching that show? Oh, that's great.
Oh yes. No, there was a moment where there's a commercial break. It's all on YouTube for free, by the way, if you want to watch Fact or Faked Beyond Belief. I recommend it. It's a good time. But there's a commercial break where he goes, next, a family is terrorized by a haunted bucket here on Beyond Belief. And I just lost it for 10 minutes. I had to pause and get water. It was bad. I can't think of something that's made me laugh that hard in a while. But yeah, it was great.
I've never gone as quickly to a video editor as that one time I noticed that in the is this based? Yes, it is video. It includes a clip of him saying, this story about a gun that wouldn't shoot at innocent people is based. I was like, that's right, Jonathan. Psychopath is based. All right. Do we have anything more to say about this episode?
And Margot was designed by Yoshi Suzuki based off of the Yama Buddhist.
Nice.
For the dead.
Sick.
I did look up the thing of the statue just because I was like, there's a cultural thing here that I'm not like getting, and it is just like this is like a symbol for like good luck and that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's also
Yeah.
in Super Mario Bros. 3 when you get the Tanuki suit.
Oh, that's okay.
That's fun.
Yeah.
He's a cute little guy.
Yeah.
I'd keep that guy around for luck.
I like that it has an internal monologue and independent
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I don't like being unburied. I've been stolen. I can't sleep. Good shit. Well, do we have any last thoughts on this episode before we move on to the next episode?
This might be my favorite one we watched so far.
Oh,
It's pretty good.
I really like this one.
I like the
Nice.
turtle ones, but yeah, this one's pretty good too.
What would be my favorite? My favorite bit of Ultraman Taro is still the very first scene.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I still can't get over that I'm home. Sploosh. Is good. Okay. The next episode is called, I've got episode 15, The Girl of the Will-O'-the-Wisp, featuring Elf Fire Kaiju Miegon. I did not write the summary for this episode. I have pieced together a summary from the Ultra Wiki, and then I have punched it up and tried to fix it, because now that we've returning to Ultra Wiki summaries for a second, they're not great. Guys, they could use a little bit of work. Just a little. I will continue to complain about it and not actually offer to help, because my summaries aren't better. They're not actually more helpful. So, in Nasuno, fire keeps scorching the countryside. A young girl, Kaoru, is accused of arson by the villagers, who doubt her pleas of innocence. Zat sends Kotaro and Ueno to investigate. When they speak with Kaoru, she tells them that the real culprit is an invisible kaiju that killed her mother. The townspeople don't believe her story and want to go full vigilante on her.
Hold on,
Did I
pause.
say vigilante? What the I went so southern for a second. Jesus Christ.
I just
Yeah,
want to
go for
pause
it.
and laugh because I'm looking at the booklet that has the episode summaries in there, and you just almost verbatim read what.
Oh, it's just from the booklet?
It's just from the booklet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, here's the thing. The booklet version ends before, the rest of the episode happens.
No, they're all like that. Yeah, they're all
That's not a synopsis, Ultra Wiki. You have to tack a little bit more on the end, mate. Anyway, the townspeople don't believe her story. They want to go full vigilante on her. Kotaro prevents them from killing a fucking child and follows her, only to discover the real source of the attacks is just as Kaoru described, an invisible kaiju, Miegon. Miegon emerges from a mountain and faces off against Zat. Kaoru is fleeing the scene in a cable car, but this goes real bad because the ropeway is damaged and Kaoru finds herself stranded. Zat try to rescue her from the cable car. Meanwhile, they use staining gas to reveal the kaiju's location. The gas plan succeeds, the kaiju is revealed, and the rescue plan fails. Kaoru is now stranded on top of the cable car, which is worse. Kotaro turns into Taro and uses the power of Yaoi hands to knock away the kaiju and rescue Kaoru from the cable car. Taro and Miegon fight, and Taro wins. Kaoru tells the ghost of her mother that she's accepted her death. Back home, some family drama is resolved as Kenichi says, "My sister is my mother." Thank you, Kenichi. I'm sure we'll have more to say about that than the Ultra Wiki episode summary did. The end. So, first of all, Ultraman Taro's hand went so big.
Yeah.
He's so big. They just got a little model of Taro with a very big hand.
Episode 7 of Ultraman Arc should have featured that big hand Taro in that last scene with the kaiju.
I'll be right back, mate. I've got an alarm going off on my phone for some reason.
Red's being activated.
Red alert.
True.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
No idea what that alarm was about. I
joked
guess set a weird
I
alarm.
joked that you're being activated, and then Mel said red alert.
Yep. I've been activated by
That's
the
where
ghost
the red
of the
part of your
ghost
name
of
came from, right?
Yeah, I'm an agent of the ghost of specifically evil FMV Stalin from the game Red Alert. Who is not like the real Stalin, but he is maybe a little more fun.
I think the real one had jokes. You just don't hear about it.
The real one had jokes, but the FMV Stalin, that's a level beyond. It's a little, Anyway,
I think my
where
favorite.
were we? I'll go for it.
I was gonna say I think my favorite, like example of the jokes is like when he and Roosevelt were talking about how many Nazis they should execute.
Oh yeah,
and Churchill got so
didn't
mad.
get it. He was getting so angry. Roosevelt and Stalin going like, "Yeah, we should just kill them all, shouldn't we? That'd be great. It'd be hilarious." Churchill's like, "What? No." Can't joke about that kind of thing.
What a loser! He lost the election after he won the wars.
Loser. Anyway, where were we? We were talking about Ultraman.
Yeah.
Yowie
hands.
What?
Big hands.
Yeah, I talked about the big hand. So there's some stuff left out of this summary. There's like a really good scene early in this episode involving Kenichi and Saori.
Yeah.
And the resolution to this being Kenichi at the end of the episode saying like, "My sister is my mother," kills me.
Yeah.
It does kind of just happen off screen. Like, it's a good discussion, but it doesn't factor in the episode much at all.
Yeah. So like early in the episode, after we've had like the girl Kaoru like having like visions of her mother and pleading with her to come back, she's like, "I want my mum to come back."
I guess. Oh, actually, continue.
And then that kind of like we then tie into that a little bit because Kenichi is having trouble with an essay for homework.
Yes.
And Kotaro gets back and is like, "Well, what's the essay about?" So it's about, you're supposed to write about your mother, and it's like, oh, okay. And the problem that they're having at home is that Kenichi is like miserable about having to do this, but is also like making it Saori's problem as well. And like Kotaro has perceived that like this is upsetting Saori as well.
Yeah.
And Kenichi hasn't like clocked this, and Kotaro just kind of lays it out with Kenichi, and then they hit upon the idea of, "Oh, you can just write about your sister. She's basically your mom."
It is a funny way to resolve it, but it's a good like conversation. Like, he is like, he's not like, he does kind of like, I don't know like if it's necessarily the right play, but it's like a point he makes of like, listen, like, it's not, it sucks, but also you're not the only one in like even this country who like has this situation.
Yeah, I really liked that. Honestly, I'm a sucker for any scene like that where it's just like affirming to like someone younger, like, hey, like, you don't need to like listen to the ideal of the nuclear family to have that family connection still and make it through. Okay, like it's fine that your mom,
unless you're the Turtles,
isn't here. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess like it is tied together by like this, we're shown this other girl who also has lost her mom, and that's like how it relates. It's just like Kenichi is off screen for most of the episode, so his sort of like, "Oh yeah, I'm cool with things now because I wrote the essay about my sister," is like, it does feel a bit more jarring, but
I think I think it's very, very funny that the conclusion is like this charming little, "Oh, my sister is a lot like my mum. That is true," and then her being like scolding him at the end, and his like knowing look with Kotaro, like, you see.
I have 3 notes on this episode.
Go for it.
1, the spray, not as cool as doing the rainbow paint, which they did in, was that
Return of Ultraman?
Yeah.
Return of Ultraman.
Yeah, last appearance of American Prometheus, if I recall correctly.
Damn, you remember that? Okay.
I think so. Because they use gay paint.
I see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, damn, there's like the Return of Ultraman episode, but not as cool for at least just for that part. But otherwise, do really like this episode. The fact that they told this little kid, "Hey, do you want to have like a car chase, but we're gonna put you in like a go-kart?" Fucking rules. I love it.
It's so cool.
It's fun.
The whole chase with Kaoru is fantastic. They do
fun.
they do this little chase through like a little amusement park thing.
Yeah.
And she's like going down like
a boat,
like a little boat ride,
like the Tunnel of Love ride, basically.
Yeah, and
this
she, like,
kid must have been
sneaks off into
having the
exhibit.
time of her life recording this. Like it.
Yeah,
it's so much fun. And then my last note is I like at the end when all of the like kids that were bullying her and calling her the Fox Girl, at the end were like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then she just slaps the main one and then walks away.
yeah, it's like now or even.
Yeah, it's
good.
so good. I like this kid. She does a great job. Very strong episode for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It is wild that the way that every villager is Hitler.
They hate her. They want her dead so bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that like Zat's like, bro, chill out, but also because of like the layout of the land, they're kind of stuck chasing them alongside. Like they're in the boat with them.
That's fun.
Like they're rowing the boat down the tunnel.
I really like. There's something like immediately, like real to me about the moment where they're like protecting her. Like she runs away, and they're like trying to stop the other guys from chasing after her. They're like, "Whoa, okay, settle down, everyone." And then one of them pulls a gun and points, and Kotaro's like, "Settle down, settle. What the fuck are you doing? Stop that right now!" There's like the immediate escalation of the tone to match the gun coming out. I thought was pretty great.
I think in general the show's done a really good job. Like it doesn't get dark, but it gets serious, and like how it balances that with the humor and the like more enjoyable like lightheartedness of a lot of the vibe that this overall has. I think they're killing it. Like just totally.
Because we've had the Wu episode and the Marucci episode as like a point of comparison. Those are both like bleak in like these people are like so evil to this child that it makes me wonder like how often that's just like an actual thing that happens in that country at that time period. But and like how this episode could compare when this show is like a bit sillier, and you know they do balance it pretty decently.
Now, is there maybe also too? I don't know. This is tricky because I don't obviously know, but I am almost wondering though too if with that there is some baggage of people from the city making a show about people from the countryside.
Yeah, that's also
and
true.
how
and
backwards they can be. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit of that going on, but
I'm gonna tell you, my expectation is that like the writer for this episode is not from Okinawa because the two writers from Okinawa are not on Ultraman anymore.
Speaking of the right, should we just get into that?
Yeah, who made this episode?
This was directed by Masanori Kake, and then written by Masao Saito, who is a name we have not heard in a bit. This was someone who I believe I didn't have a bio for, but we have seen their work before. So in Return of Ultraman, they did Assassinate Hideki Go, which is an episode I can't believe I forgot about because it's the one where his arm gets bitten by the rat thing that a little girl tries to fucking blow him up with a pen bomb. What an episode.
I also forgot the episode.
And then he also did the King Bakul episode where that underground species attempts to kill that one professor's daughter. In, like,
the one Ueno episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The second last episode of Return of Ultraman.
Yeah.
Ueno was in this show. Fuck, I forgot about you, bro. Let me just.
And then in Ace, he did the Haunted Kappa Mansion and the Mysterious Pyramid with like the red smoke that makes people pass out thing.
Those were fun episodes.
Yeah, those are some of the better ones. I'd say.
One good Kappa, I should say. One good Kappa.
True.
It's better than was it Seven had the really dumb Kappa episode?
Seven had a really dumb Kappa kaiju.
Love that show,
like
not a great episode of that show.
Yes, that was probably the weakest episode 7. It's just like he had this really scuffed Kappa aliens, and like the kaiju Kappa was not great either.
No.
But this one had the one I were in Ace had like the fucking swimming pool on it, said, and it was great.
Mm-hmm. Who did the? Was it? Do you mention the kaiju stuff yet?
So special effects director is Takashi Ohira, and then My Gun is by Yoshio Suzuki.
Well, Brad didn't get that joke.
Is it like it's a my go thing because it's My Gun?
She played the clip. She played the clip.
Oh, I didn't hear it because I.
That was the thing I was actually
off, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And yeah, obviously based off of the Nine-Tailed Fox.
Yeah, from Naruto.
Yeah. Naruto.
If you believe it.
Power Rangers podcaster voice. I think this episode influenced Naruto.
I should point out that podcast is not a Power Rangers podcast.
I like how we've just
We're just gonna talk shit about that, but I don't know who that podcast is, but I'm talking shit about them now.
I'm not telling the name on mic, that's for sure.
There we go.
They're probably a fine podcast.
They're probably a fine podcast. Yeah, the nine-tailed fox from Naruto will we get an 8-tailed octopus? That's the question.
Oh God, I don't remember.
An 8-tailed octopus with a rapping ninja.
I always thought Gaara's was the coolest. I fucking that half transformation form Gaara has is so fucking sick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen Naruto, and I never will.
You're fine.
Yeah, I know.
You can watch the Rock Lee fight on YouTube.
I've seen enough clips of it on Twitter.
There you go. God, that kick's so fucking good.
Both of the Valley of the End Naruto versus Sasuke fights I think are up there in terms of like, oh damn, they actually just nailed it.
Yeah, that first one goes crazy.
That first one like changed my brain chemistry. Watching that week to week live as it happened was amazing.
Here's the thing. They should chill out on animation most of the time in the modern shonen stuff. Because, like, first of all, you're putting in a lot of effort, and you're not even drawing the backgrounds, so it just by default looks like shit. So, waste of time. If you, like, slowed down, like, if you, like, chilled out a little on animation all the time, and instead just, like, focused in on some of the big fights, maybe you could make it look good instead of incomprehensible. Maybe.
Yeah.
I hate Mappa.
No, but look at this highly compressed Twitter clip of the sickest shit you've ever seen. Pixels. Nothing but pixels. You can't see anything.
Sometimes people talk about, like, but the animators have put in so much effort into this thing. I'm like, yeah, they've had their bones crushed to dust to make a thing, and you're like, that doesn't mean that doesn't make me like it more. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the era of Gohan's supremacy is upon us.
Of course.
I've still never watched a Gohan show, but every time I see a clip, I'm just like fascinated.
I've seen.
Hey, let me tell you,
which is
oh yeah, okay, yeah. Let me tell you, doesn't look all that different from the modern like Ufotable output when they. So I don't really know what the fan base's rejection of Gohan's is, given that Ufotable is supposed to be the GOAT. I
will say, at very least, compared to the clips of other shows I've seen, K seems to be the most normally animated Gohan show. It's just got the filter more than anything.
Why did we get onto anime? What's going on?
I don't even remember how we got. We went from Nine-Tailed Fox to Naruto to fight scene animation.
Oh, that's right. We talked about Naruto. Naruto fights look better than like Jujutsu Kaisen fights.
Yeah. Now we should talk about Legend of Zelda.
Why should we talk about Legend of Zelda? Yeah,
because the Ocarina of Time is here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. The Ocarina of something.
It summons a thing. I just learned, actually, like yesterday, even, that the little song that plays when you load up Ocarina of Time and you see Link riding in as the sun comes up is it's the same melody as the flute song that you play in Zelda 1 when he plays the recorder.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
I was like, damn.
There you go.
That's a deep pull.
There you go. Let me tell all of you about the only episode I wrote a proper summary for. Episode 16, The Kaiju's Flute Sounds, featuring Piper Kaiju Okarian. A boy called Arihito needs to practice his ocarina for homework, but his parents are sick of it. His mum breaks the ocarina, and his dad's like, okay, I'll give you your grandfather's flute. He pulls out this stone flute thing, and Arihito's like, that's not an ocarina. And his dad's like, it's close. He explains that this is a master's flute made of mountain stone. Arihito sneaks off in the night to a construction site to practice his new flute, but it's so difficult. He manages to get some sound out, at which point a kaiju that makes stupid noises appears. By the time Zat arrives, the kaiju is gone, and they send Arihito home. At the base, the next day, Zat talk about Arihito's late-night practice and reminisce about how much they sucked at school. Arihito fails to play his flute for his teacher, and she's like, give me that scrub, I'll show you how it's done. And then fails to play the flute, and she's like, alright, get out of here.
But she also says, don't come back. Tomorrow, if you still can't play the flute, don't come back.
Great teacher.
Yeah.
Listen, there are a lot of teachers out there that are mostly just in it for the tyranny. It's true.
I overheard my chemistry teacher, when I was packing up for a day, tell one of my classmates, listen, I'm sorry your mom is dying of cancer, but you need to get your homework done. Most evil thing I've heard in my life.
God damn.
I like, genuinely
Teachers
later...
are evil.
Genuinely later that day, I, like, went up to her and I was like, I overheard that and I just want you to know that was messed up and I'm really sorry. And she was like, thanks, I thought I was going crazy. Just evil. Oh, some teachers.
Yeah. So, Kenichi thanks Arihito for the save because he couldn't play his ocarina either, and he didn't want to get a bollocking. They practice together with Saori, and Kotaro arrives in time to see Arihito break his flute in anger. Kotaro offers to fix it, recognizing him from the night before, and talking about how if his grandfather is a master, Arihito might become a master too one day. Now, this could be normal, but he's specifically talking about atavism, which is hilarious. With a fixed flute and some encouraging words from Kotaro, Arihito is suddenly able to play like a pro. And the kaiju appears again. That's mysterious. Zat attacks and the kaiju disappears, but now they know Arihito wasn't making anything up. They figure out that it must be Arihito's flute that summons the kaiju. Kotaro meets Arihito's mother and learns two things. First, Arihito's grandfather made the flute from a rock he found, went up to the mountains to play it, and then mysteriously got squashed by something. Second, Arihito's out practicing with that flute right now, and Kotaro's like, oh no! Kotaro hurries to the construction site and arrives just as the kaiju is summoned. He explains the situation, and Arihito offers to lure the kaiju away from any buildings. Together they do just that, but then the flute breaks. Kotaro stays behind and turns into Taro and kicks the kaiju in the balls. Zat arrives, and together they do this thing where they snare the kaiju by the neck and then shove a pipe into its mouth and then let go of it so it falls over and Taro breaks its teeth. Anyway,
I like to say when this happens, the music changes.
Yeah.
Like they're doing they're doing one arrangement of the OP, and then in the moment this happens, it changes to a different brassy arrangement. And it's
okay. Yeah. Anyway. Taro throws the kaiju into the sky and explodes it. Easy. GG. Arihito shows off to Kenichi and the rest of the class how good he is at his ocarina, which was given to him by Zat. Kenichi wonders if he can get Kotaro to teach him. Back at Zat base, Kotaro gets scolded for playing the ocarina, and analysis comes back that reveals the master's flute was actually made from the kaiju's tooth. The end.
And then there's a bit at the end where Taro looks at the screen and says, hey kids, give us your idea of what the Land of Light is like. Here's a fucked up school bus.
He's a fucked up school bus. This killed me. This next time, just starting with 15 seconds of just this is what a school bus from the Land of Light looks like.
The first thing we see of this fucking civilization is the fucking...
This is
school bus that looks like a pancake. A rolled up
Who is
pancake.
the school for? Taro is a newborn baby. Who's going to school?
You gotta go cop school.
Oh, that's true. That's true. It might not be for children. Taro's gonna come back, and they're gonna be like, "You were too nice. We gotta send you to school." How we feel about this episode?
That's alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it's alright.
at the end, when they were like, oh, it was made from his tooth, it actually made me, like, I think that downgraded it by a whole point in my esteem, because I'm just like, we didn't need... We didn't need to try to tie it back like that. It's stupid.
Yeah. I do think it's funny that Kotaro tries to fix it with tape and succeeds.
Yes.
Works better.
It's because he's like, I'm gonna get tape. Now, he is holding glue in his hands, but he doesn't mention the glue.
Maybe that's just a translation thing then.
But yeah, it does come out looking absolutely perfect after. And he's like, yeah, I fixed it, no problem. And it's like, okay, man. Sure you did. And immediately the child is like perfect. It's like, oh, I play just perfectly. Because of atavism. Because my dad isn't a master flute player, but my granddad was, and that has genetically reawoken in me.
Well, also, it's like in JoJo, like, Joseph's dad wasn't a stand user. Actually, wait, hold on.
True.
What the fuck am I saying?
Wait,
Jonathan wasn't a
wait,
stand user
hang
either. I'm getting my JoJo wrong.
Yeah.
Jotaro's... Actually, fuck, no.
Dad.
The plot of Stardust Crusaders is that Susie's stand is killing her. Never mind. This is not falling apart
right.
entirely.
You're true. God, remember when his mum's stand was awakening and it was killing her?
Yeah.
God, JoJo.
Yeah.
JoJo's kind of
I remember the part where Kakyoin was like, damn, your mom's so beautiful. I'll save the world for you.
One day I'll
Yeah.
get fucking back to Steel Ball Run.
Steel Ball Run's so good.
Yeah, it's just
all
long.
all I need to do is watch part 6 and then I can read Steel Ball Run.
I have not seen
Damn,
it.
okay.
I do not care for parts 5 and 6. It's
I'm just gonna
I
watch-
guess you can do.
You know,
I guess you can just
I'll
keep
just-
doing the same thing, but worse than the last few times you did it. Okay.
I'll just read. I'll just watch Female Prisoner Scorpion the first couple of movies, and then I'll read Steel Ball Run. There we go.
You
Done.
keep name dropping box sets I have in view today. It's really
Oh,
weird.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, like actually they are unironically right next to each other. The James Bond and like it's really weird.
I'm actually in that room right now.
I'm
I'm in a cupboard.
I see. If I had
I'm
a
like
cupboard,
the-
if I had a cupboard in this room, that would have been very funny.
Okay, well, I'm not in a cupboard.
Are you
then.
in my Marvel
Rip.
vs. Capcom 2 cabinet? That's kind of like a cupboard.
Yes, I'm in the cabinet.
Yeah. That's a
A
feasible
cabinet
thing
is a
you
cupboard?
could do. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the UK, did you call them arcade cupboards instead of arcade cabinets? Is that...
Arcade cupboards. In the UK, we have arcade. Get the fucking the woman from from North Korea. In the UK, they call them arcade cupboards.
Do they call the guilty character Crisp Zanuff there?
Yes, yeah, we call him Chris Zanuff. And all of his lines are replaced with jokes to do with Walker's Crisps flavors,
AKA Lay's here in Canada.
aka Lay's. Yeah.
Fucking... I'm trying to workshop a smack bar and pee wet joke, but it's not happening.
No, it's not.
I've been
happening. It's not
fascinated by
happening.
the Wigan Kebab video for weeks now.
Yeah, as have a lot of people in Britain.
Yeah. That
We also didn't know about that.
okay.
I'm that shit. When you posted that and you knew what that was before I knew about what that was, I was like, what the fuck is this? What is happening in Wigan?
My favorite part of that video is he's like, you don't know what P1 is? It's as good as gravy here in Wigan. And I'm just like, what is going on in this town?
It's the water from peas. What the fuck are you talking about, man? What is happening? Why?
My off mic reaction to the video was like, I understand now how like the mutually intelligible or unintelligible languages of Egypt and Iraq can be both be called Arabic.
Oh yes. Yes. I'm watching that video. My primary emotion was, you're in a chip shop. This is blasphemy. This is what you're doing right now. Just get your fish and chips and go home. That's the best thing about Britain. What are you doing?
I can't throw stones because I am from the part of the States that is responsible for the cannibal sandwich, which I don't know.
What?
So what if you just had raw beef and you put some rye bread, maybe some chopped onion on there?
That sounds terrible.
Okay, well...
Yeah,
it's
Is it seasoned at least?
I believe sometimes, yeah. I've never had it.
I believe sometimes.
So here's the thing. I've never had it. Yeah, salt and pepper, it looks like. Raw ground beef with onion, salt and pepper, often on rye bread.
Should we get some pea wet for that?
Yeah. On the side. Sometimes with crackers as a side, okay. But yeah, this is a thing that many older men in my life are like, yeah, I used to love eating cannibal sandwiches as a kid. And everyone my age is like, what the fuck? Where are we? What's happening?
When he said the word... Alright, I'm back on this. When he said the word kebab, and then he put a pie in a bread roll, I almost offed myself immediately.
It's too much bread!
Isn't the UK also the country that gave us the toast sandwich?
I would never. The simple fact of the matter is, the thing about Britain is most people do not eat a full English breakfast very often. That doesn't happen. Not really. It's not real. That's like a very rare occasion. A toast, I would never in my life.
Okay, I do need to... of English cuisine, what's your top, like, this is the best we gotta offer in your mind, Red? I need to know this.
Oh, well, I mean, if we want the real answer has always probably been, like, beef Wellington. That's actual, like,
that's a good
like,
one.
people
Classic.
like that. Yes. But, like, personally, it's fish and chips. Because, like, I couldn't, like, even in my home, I could not make fish and chip shop chips.
Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
haven't had fish and chips in a while.
It's good.
I mean, I've had it, it's just not in a while.
Mm-hmm. So I'm pro fish and chips, but the answer is beef Wellington because it's beef Wellington. It's real food. And it's not a joke. It's like, it's beef Wellington.
I wish it. Well, I guess Mel, you probably are in an area where you have easy access to like fried cheese curds, but I'm assuming Red, you've never had a fried cheese curd, which is sad, and I wish I could somehow.
There's
give
like a
them
chain
to you.
I could walk to for poutine, right? If I want to.
Yes. See that's the thing is like here it's like Wisconsin. If you want poutine or like cheese curd anything, Wisconsin's like the one place in the States you can reliably get that shit. Everywhere else it's just like no, you better get up to Canada. So.
The fact that I'm also proximate to Quebec more than my parents' place probably also helps. But like it's just like
poutine is so fucking good.
It is. It's the kind of it's a thing where I can have it, but only once in a while, because otherwise I'll have it and I'll be like, I feel like terrible.
Yeah.
The other thing that I've tried, there are exceptions, but I think as a rule, I've tried American chocolate. It's not real. I'm sorry. that's not real. Were we talking about Ultraman? We don't care about this episode.
No, absolutely not. No. Yeah, I did not care for the like. It's all right. It's inoffensive, but I just think it's like not up to snuff with the last I'd say even 5 or 6 episodes we watched.
It is okay. In the name of talking about the episode for a bit before we get back to food, I guess. I'll say that it kind of fits in with the ongoing stuff around children not getting believed
Yes.
How much it sucks to be a kid sometimes. Like it genuinely, like this kid is like, I'm trying to do my fucking homework,
and his mom breaks his.
She just this is anti-mother propaganda. When she just walks up and just breaks the flute. I'm like, sometimes we get pro-parent propaganda. This is anti-mother propaganda, which ironically comes from a similar ideology. But it's this is like this is wild. She's just like breaks it, and he's like, that my school gave me that, and she's like, I don't care. What are you talking to me? Shut up. Leave me alone. And then he's like at school, and the teacher's like, that's not the ocarina that I gave you. And he's like, I know, I really don't want to get into this. I've got this though. This is like a master's flute. Okay, well, so not
like the violin guy at the end of Ace, who is like, you have a better violin than the rest of us, which means you should play better.
Oh yeah. And his dad secretly like his ghost winking at him like, actually, I think you're right to not want to play the violin. And it's like, well, probably shouldn't have put it in like your will or something. Moron.
No, he died. He comes back. He like talked to Buddha, and he's like, you know what? I had to change your heart. He had some good points.
Sorry about that, kid. Didn't mean to kind of ruin your life.
That'd be so good.
Suddenly remembered the guy in Three Kingdoms who like dies, and the ghost is like being told by like a priest, like, don't go haunting people, and he's like, you're right, I shouldn't, and then he goes and haunts people anyway.
Ghosts be getting up shit in Three Kingdoms.
Just like in real life, because it's a historical document.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like the bit where Sun Quan's like earlier brother is like, I personally would not fuck around with a Taoist priest. I would, no matter how much of an asshole he was, I would simply not try to ruin his life.
Guy at like basically the peak of his prime, with many more like decades to go, just throwing it all away because he's spiteful against this one guy, and like he ruined it. He comes out of it like, you know what, I'm dying now, I guess it's up to you.
Yeah, it's like, I simply don't like this one guy, and it turns out he is a bit of a sorcerer. Oops.
Damn.
The way Brave Battle Warriors did it is like cooler, but less funny.
I still haven't watched it.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's a good show.
But Anyway, who made this episode?
This episode was made by, directed by Masanori Kake, and then written by Shigemitsu Taguchi.
Thank you very much. Who did the other stuff, the kaiju, etc.?
Special Effects director is Takashi Ohira, and then Ocarien is Yoshi Suzuki. Apparently, by Suzuki's own admission, it apparently was a rush design with not a lot of turnaround, and it was kit bashed by a bunch of suits from Fireman.
I'm gonna be honest, it turned out okay for that. I quite like this one. I like the big like googly eyes that kind of pop up when he gets kicked in the balls.
Most of the kit bashing comes in the body, like the head is unique, but
okay.
But yeah.
All right. Sick. This episode is not great, but it's fine. Yeah. It's whatever.
I'd agree.
It's not, the standard is the standard. It's still Taro. It's still pretty good.
Yeah. The benchmark's still higher than like Ace.
Yeah. Did we want to talk about any more niche food?
I think I'm good. I'm starving now, though. Holy shit.
I don't think my country, I can't even think of stuff like Ontario has. Like poutine is a Quebec thing. I think Nova Scotia is like a lobster rolls. I think all I know about Ontario is we invented the butter tart, which is like a thing.
I'm currently debating whether or not at this place I'm looking at I want to order a patty melt or a Cuban wrap.
Ooh.
I think going for the patty melt.
Che Guevara shaking his head.
Listen, I read his book. It's fine.
Yeah, that's where all
You-
that's where all the gorilla videos on your YouTube feed come from.
Oh, I haven't talked. I haven't talked about that. So on Friday at work, I talked about this last time. Work's been a little bit rough because of some companies that I will never be buying cars from ever. I'm gonna just type them in. There you go. You two get to know, but just to be safe, I will not name them.
Oh,
here.
okay.
But work's been rough.
Can I just say, I did not have the chat open. I had a completely different channel open on a Discord, so I thought you had posted this after announcing that you're never buying a car from this company. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is a Discworld reading order guide.
You know.
Okay.
I need to get back to Discord at some point.
But anyways, this is all a roundabout way of saying the last 2 hours of my Friday, I just did not work, and instead I watched videos on silverback gorillas, and my YouTube algorithm has not been fixed since. But when I told Mel this, Mel thought I meant gorillas with the UE and not the O.
I see.
That's where my headspace at.
I'm gonna say that is a Mel mistake.
Yeah.
If ever I've heard it, that's Mel hearing someone talk about gorillas. Oh, revolution? Excuse me.
Listen, we got
Something going on?
There's a lot of like Palestinian TikToks.
Tangentially,
yes, there are.
Tangentially, I did also get an amazing video of like a person who lives out in like kind of more rural like house on like a mountain incline sort of situation, and then their cat was inside, and like the person was inside recording their cat looking out their back like door at a mountain lion who was staring it down through the transparent window. And then the wife comes in and he's like, "Hey honey, look at this. And then she goes, "Oh my god." And then she goes, "Where are the kids?" And without skipping a beat, the dad goes, "Oh, they're still out back." And then she's like about to scream, and he goes, "No, I'm joking, they're still in bed." And all of the comments are like, "This is the all-timer dad joke that you could possibly ever make."
Oh,
Jesus
man.
Yeah.
I just have my YouTube history turned off.
Yeah, that's good.
It's good. The only downside is I have to keep a notepad file open noting where I am in long videos.
Oh.
Because it doesn't remember how far through I am.
Let's see. What's my algorithm right now? Oh, now it's Kingdom Hearts 2 and Cecilia Immergreen, so that's fine. We're back to normal.
What do I got? Street Fighter and Mega Man. That sounds about right for me.
Nice.
I will be watching
The best and the worst weapons in Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's where I've also been at lately.
I'll be watching Mume and Cecilia's second Halo Reach stream.
Oh shit! I missed. Ooh, I need to watch that. Shoutouts to Halo
good.
Reach. What a game.
Shoutouts to Halo Reach. Probably the Halo I played the most multiplayer of, just because it aligned with the right time in my life.
I was mostly in on 3, but that's also because I was not an Xbox person. I owned a 360 for a very short period of time before it red ringed, and then I got a PS3. So most of my Halo experience was at friends' houses, but I played a lot of Halo 2 and 3. Split screen and online.
God, I got really, really, really good at Halo Reach. Those skills are gone, but while I had them, they were good. I was good. All right. We are done talking about Ultraman. Do you have color timers for us?
Yeah, and I have another segment that I'm bringing back.
Another segment you're bringing back?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
So first of all, color timers. Episode 14, 2 minutes 30 seconds. Episode 15, 1 minute 41 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 16, 2 minutes 21 seconds. All of these in stark
Damn.
contrast with the arc episode we just recorded.
Absolutely.
And I got The Ultraseven runback. Whoa, because we finished with Guyver.
Oh, right,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Go for it.
Yeah. I realized I forgot to actually get the details on Ultraseven himself, so I'll just do that next week.
All right.
But anyway, special effects directors for the first 7 episodes of Ultraseven. Koichi Takano did episode 1 to 3 and episode 5. Sedamasa Arikawa, guy who thought planes in the movie were real, episode 4 and episode 6. And then Toru Matoba, episode 7. I also assume, unless otherwise stated, that all kaiju were designed by Toru Narita and sculpted by Ryosako Takayama. First up, Wyndham. Suit actor was Sadao Tsunohara, episode 1. Kunio Suzuki, episode 24. And Toshihiko Saiko, episode 39. Alien cool. I got no new details. Unfortunately for Brad.
Damn. Tragic.
Alien Weil? I still don't know how to pronounce this. The katakana is Wairu. Whatever. The suit for most of the episode was Sadao Tsunohara. But for the train scene specifically, it was Takeyoshi Sasaki, who was the assistant director for the episode. And then he realized when they were doing the train scene, they hadn't booked a suit actor for that scene. And then he just like, went to the directors, was like, "Hey, can I do it, please, please, please?" And they're like, "Yeah, I can do it." So that's fun. And then the name for the kaiju apparently is derived from Yo Ryokuso, which is the Japanese word for chlorophyll, which they turn to the initials YR, which becomes Wairu. So that's interesting. That's fun.
That's fun.
Miklas, the only new details we got on it is the suit actor, Brad's favorite guy, Toshihiko Saiko, episode 3, and Kunio Suzuki, episode 25. Alien Pit is played by Reiko Takahashi. Unclear if there was a suit actor at all. Originally it was going to be called Alien Margaret, apparently. But the final name they did was derived from Cupid, apparently. Narita based it off a dragonfly, which you can tell by the head. Apparently the UFO that they go into on the riverbank is a real one. Not real one, obviously, but like they built a life-size UFO prop. But also they use a miniature for filming the landing sequence.
Okay.
Ella King, classic guy, suit actor Fumio Ikeda, and Kunio Suzuki. They had an additional prop for the long tail used to wrap around 7. Also, Ella King's antenna was damaged during the filming of the fight with Miklas, and they had to fix it on the spot.
Oh.
Apparently, in the original draft, the capsule kaiju for the episode was going to be Red King.
Oh.
Huh? Ooh. That would have been... Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next, we have
Interesting.
Godela, suit actor Toshihiko Saiko. They make a note of saying that because his face was covered, he tried to use a lot of body movement to try and convey emotions, in case his face, which meant a lot of like shaking his shoulders and arms and stuff, and what we described in that episode as pelvic thrusting, probably.
Oh.
Apparently, Narita considered Godela as like the baseline for 7 aliens going forward, like, if that makes sense. Apparently, Apparently, the original design had 5-fingered hands, but the design doc they gave him just pincers instead. This one's a funny one. The name apparently comes from gondola because the episode was about kidnapping boats at sea.
Okay. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. Then we got Alien Vera, which was another, puppet that kidnapped the guy. It was a puppet, and but some guy called Shigeo Kurakata was responsible for figuring out how to get the tentacles to move. Cool. Then we got Alien Pegasa, suit actor Hajime Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's apparently not much about him for some reason. Except otherwise that the gun Pegasa uses in the episode is later reused by Kiriyama of all people against Alien Wild in a later episode. They just reused the prop. Also, a note I made when re-listening back to the episodes, Red assumes that Anne's expensive looking room they use will show up again because it's expensive, and nope, that doesn't happen.
Oh, well. It's a really thorough room. It could have been bare bones as hell.
And then finally, Karaso, suit actor Yasushi Matsubara. Suit was repurposed from Kamen, though the head was designed specifically to resemble a mask. The original script was going to have a fight between Seven and Karaso, but that didn't happen in the episode. They just fucking blew him up. This is another case of like names making more sense when you look at the katakana. Apparently, the name is derived from Dracula.
Oh, okay.
Which the katakana for Dracula in the Kula is the same one as used of Karaso. It's just how they conjugate, how they Romanize it is interesting. So yeah, there's weird stuff happens when they try and Romanize these weird names.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's the first batch. I'd like to be out of the runback era eventually, but
oh yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
It'll happen as long as you keep doing it.
Yep.
I feel like that's just one step removed from what's the phrase? You can always do better. That's the other.
You can always do better.
We haven't
always do better.
We haven't pulled that.
We know this.
You know what? I will give Taro credit. We haven't had to pull that one out. I don't think yet.
No.
So
no, we've done all right.
Yeah.
Do we have any emails?
Yeah, we got a couple.
Okay.
Go for it.
We got technically 2 from Crusader, so I'll do those first.
Mm-hmm.
Context being that they finished Guyver and decide to talk about it.
Ooh, let's go.
Oh shit.
So here's their first email by a boosted Guyver. Hello, OSQ Pod, Crusader here. Context stuff. I have finished reading all of the Guyver as of 13th of October. Secondly, I am sending this before the podcast has dropped for this week, so before the Guyver movie podcast.
Okay.
The way that the 2 movies adapt material from Guyver was interesting to see. The first movie draws more from the first couple of volumes of the manga, while the second one feels a bit like taking stuff from the first 50 chapters. There's a sense that the author for Guyver really likes Kamen Rider and other Ishinomori hero shows. Yeah, I bet. I feel like I don't have that much to say past that. That does not get to spoilers. Movie 1 and 2 talk. The first movie feels like a proto Power Rangers to what I think is the live action Ninja Turtles like. Very cheesy, real cool on the body horror effects. I think like Crusader messaged me later saying, like, clarifying, yeah, you can probably make an argument that like the style of humor in Power Rangers is of a similar place as the first Guyver movie, which I think makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
But also that's probably just like the 90s. It could be column A, column B.
Mm-hmm.
Very cheesy, really cool.
Yeah, column A, column E.
Yeah.
There's like a few columns in between, but yeah.
Yeah. Mark Hamill's line where he jumps to the car to find rope is very funny, ironically.
It's so good.
I have an MP4 of that on my I made it immediately.
I don't feel that Sean Barker is that compelling of a person. This also goes into the second movie where he does have cool action scenes, but I'm not into the character that much.
That makes sense.
Mark Hamill going bug mode is very good, though.
Yes.
Second movie I'd seen prior, albeit I was a soju bottle deep when I did and fell asleep for the good half of the movie, which is the back half.
That's a good movie to be breaking out the soju for and watching, I feel.
Besides the action scenes in the back half of the movie, I can't really say that I enjoyed this that much. I am a lot less cool after just reading all of the manga.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then their second email, which is Guyver email part 2, and then Taro 14 to 16. Guyver extra. Guyver 3 is an all-time guy. I love it when there's a character that understands the power they wield and has goals that they want to achieve, especially when they're being evil about it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some manga tidbits there.
Okay.
Guyver 3.
Mostly in episode 14 is probably one of the episodes I remember the most from this batch. Taro having his head cut off with a Buddhist imagery is pretty sick. For episode 15, I do feel that sometimes when Taro goes for a bit more serious episodes, the team looking the way they does takes me out of the serious moment.
Yeah, that's fair.
I do think they should let Urien move his barrier by pushing it. I wonder how much like Aegis Reflector is just from Ultraman. That's me editorializing.
No idea.
Good question. It's a good question.
I mean, we know 12 is from Ultraman.
Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, my poor boy.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for this clip.
Okay.
Episode.
Did we all just take 7 seconds to watch
Of
that?
course.
Okay.
Yeah.
maybe you need to put in the episode now.
Yeah.
Might do.
Episode 16, when Taro comes in with the giant statue to punch the kaiju, always gets a good chuckle out of me. Hope you all have a good week. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for your emails. Yeah, interesting to hear the perspective of someone who's actually done the work.
Yeah. I'm not doing that.
No, I ain't reading Guyver.
I can watch actual Kamen Rider.
Maybe someday I'll give it a read.
Maybe
I feel like
someday.
I owe it to myself, but I don't know if I have the interest.
Yeah, I'd probably rather just watch Kamen Rider and Kick Rider and stuff. So
Here's the thing: there are era appropriate actual manga, right? Is there Kamen Rider manga from the era?
yeah, I
From
think
the
so.
time?
I don't know when Kamen Rider Spirits aired, but that's a big one that lasted a while. That's Showa Continent.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Asian Mori also did manga on the different stuff.
Yeah,
he was alive at
This
the
is
time,
what
so.
this is what I'm thinking. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Kamen Rider, which premiered on April 3rd, initially intended as an adaptation of Ishinomori's Skullman manga. Like I would probably go back if I was going to read Kamen Rider adjacent manga. I would probably go back and read something like that or something.
Kamen Rider manga's good from what I read of it. I own the tome that collects all of it.
Oh, that's good.
I've
Yeah.
heard good things about Robot Detective.
Oh, that too. Yes. Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you for your email.
Yeah, thanks.
Next we got Sajixar once again.
Hello.
Apologies for my lack of interactions as of recent, but Taro is once again one of those shows I don't really have a lot of extra to add. It basically speaks for itself.
Mhm.
Anyway, Decapitation lol. In Margot is one of the coolest kaiju to come from the show, to be honest, especially out of this show that isn't exactly brimming with memorable faces. Spoilers, I guess. In saying that, y'all have the epic 3-parter next week. Oh, hey, there we go.
3-parter.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I had to do the episode numbering the way we did.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Ah, I see.
Shame that it got spoiled, but well. Which I will say features the return of a few story things you three have taken a shine to in the past coming back. Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Thus ends my Taro coverage this week. More will be said next time. To fill the time, though, since I for some reason have brought up bits and pieces, but I haven't done this comprehensively yet, here's a rundown of every music-based thing in Ultraman you've all seen so far. Okay. So for Q original Ultraman, the OST was done by Kunio Miyauchi, who brings a spoopy minor key brassy tone to a majority of the pieces. Almost everything since, including Mirror Man, has been done so far by Toru Fuyuki, who I think brings a much fuller sound and higher energy to the scores. Fuyuki, for some reason, is not doing the Taro OST. Instead, the reins have been given to Masanobu Higurashi, who certainly has a distinct sound, if a tad repetitive. The only composer
I can feel the repetition sometimes, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. The only composer you haven't encountered yet is Isao Tomita, who did Mighty Jack, and who is, in his opinion, the best of them all. The Mighty Jack OST is phenomenal. Damn, it'd be a shame if the show continued to be unsubbed forever so we couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
Anyway, now for vocal tracks. Every single main one from Q up to Ace was written by Hajime Tsuburaya himself, so that's neat.
Oh.
That is neat.
Obviously, reasonable why he didn't do it for Taro onwards.
Because he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Hajime.
R.I.P. Q's 2 vocal tracks, one about the monsters, one just a pretty general track about the show, were performed by the Misuzu Children's Choir, who, believe it or not, are just a bunch of no-name kids. Kenji Sahara, Hiroko Sakurai, and Yasuhiko Saijo, aka our three guides, show up in the second track as their children, which is sick. And the kaiju song is the only piece of Ultra Q media in which the term Ultra Q is actually said.
That makes sense.
Now the big boy, the song of Ultraman itself, was sung by a bunch of nobodies, the same kids choir group as the Q songs, and just a no-name male vocal group that never did anything else. Wahoo. Same can be said for the show's insert tracks, save for one very off-the-wall example. There was a track released called The Ultra Kaidu Ondo, sung by Susumu Ishikawa, aka the actor who was the station owner dude in the Underground Super Express Goes West, aka original cast actor as Ide, who got replaced by Masanari Nihei, aka the singer of the Obake no Q Taro theme, aka a pretty big figure in Japanese pop culture at the time. Well, that's a rabbit hole.
Alright.
That's a lot to untangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 tracks were done by a 3-piece group called the Echoes, otherwise known as the Wonders, who did quite a number of theme songs.
Well, hang on. They had a one. No, that's a band who did a song that was a one-hit wonder for that movie. That it was fucking. Was it Fountains of Wayne did the song? Oh, I can't remember the movie. What's the fucking
I have no
movie?
clue what you're talking about.
You're just saying words.
I'm talking about there's a movie about a one-hit wonder band, and the band's called The Wonders. Forget about it. I'll find it.
I'm looking it
Continue.
up as you. The Thing You Do?
Yes, that's the song. It's a pretty good song. Anyway.
Anyway.
It was written
The
and directed
Wonders.
by Tom Hanks. Okay.
Yeah.
Called the Echoes, otherwise known as the Wonders, who did quite a number of theme songs at the time for popular action shows, with this easily being their most well-known thing they ever did. The English opening was done by Masato Shimon, who one of the most famous anime and toku vocalists of the 70s, but this being his only Ultraman thing. I'm not sure what else he did. Return to Ultraman's theme was, of course, done by the late, great Jiro Dan himself, but Return has a couple of random stuff thrown in there, too. There was a Kaiju Ondo song done by Honey Knights, the same vocal group that did the backing vocals for the Mirror Man OP, and later did the Ace OP. There's also a Kaiju rock song done by a group called The Time Machine. Who are they? Good question. Literally know nothing about them. Since Ace's main tracks are already covered, I guess, save for the one I didn't even know existed till like half a year ago, specifically about the Ultra Guillotine attack done by Kanuki Man's original VA. What?
Okay.
Sidebar, it was wild finding out that Kanuki Man is like basically an Ultraman fan comic about wrestling.
Yeah, it turns into its own thing, but yes.
I had to play a PS2 fighting game of that for my Combo Breaker mystery game tournament, or Frosty Fausti's mystery game tournament earlier this year, and I got one hit away from winning and then lost. I have no idea how to play that game still.
One day I'll check it out as homework. Anyway, we can take a quick diversion into Mirror Man, whose main vocalists were Hiroshi Ueki, who did 2 albums and nothing more. Finally, into Taro, we have a switch up. A new composer just for the LP, Makoto Yamaguchi, and a new returning lyricist, Yu Aku, who wrote a few anime LPs you may have heard of, like Space Battleship Yamato, Devilman, Detective Conan, etc.
Let's go!
Those are big ones.
Someone says, "Oh, they wrote the Detective Conan LP." I'm like, which one? There's 50.
Damn.
The vocalist is Ryoichi Fukuzawa, known for the OP and the Ultra Brothers theme as Taro Takamura, because Taro has literally done nothing else notable except these 2 songs. What is notable, though, is that Taro is now the earliest Ultraman OP that can still realistically be performed live, as is by Fukuzawa this past August. More guys keep dying.
Yeah.
Best time.
More will be added.
That is how it works, yeah.
More will be added into this info pile as we go. I hope you are keeping notes for the future Arceus crossovers. You may have to remind us when that happens, because that's a lot of info. But we appreciate the info.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. That's all the emails we got.
That's all the emails. Thank you very much for your emails. We continue to get more of them than I expect.
Yeah.
That's kind of the podcast. We're done here.
Yeah.
Do
if
we
you
want
to follow the show,
Do you want to
go
say
for it.
when we have the next skipping / Mirror Man thing set up?
Yeah, sure. So we've got the next. Okay, hang on. So when have we got Mirror Man? I don't have. Where is this? It's in the pins.
Remember we had this conversation 2 hours ago.
Yeah. I'm just pulling it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got where is Mirror? Oh, we're doing Arc and Mirror Man the same
so
week. I see.
November 10th,
Yes.
we're not doing a Taro episode. We're doing
November the 10th, we will be recording an episode where we are going through episodes 8 to 11 of Arc, and we're also doing the final batch of Mirror Man, which we have kind of left hanging for a long time.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kyotaro. Kagami Kyotaro. We will get back to you.
we will finish
and
our
your
first
sick fights.
detour quarry.
That's right. That is true. Until then, it is just 3 episodes of Taro every week.
Yeah.
Just straight. No more fucking around with Taro. That's it. 3 more
Guyver
episodes every week
fixed the
until the
problem
end.
for us, and now we don't need it anymore.
Exactly. Fantastic. So, if you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twitter at @Ultra_Q. That is at @Ultra_QUEUE. And we are on Blue Sky at @UltraQUEUE, no underscore. Mel.
Hi, you can follow me at Twitter at DearCrowns, also on Blue Sky at DearCrowns. Don't know why I said it that way. You can send us an email, ultraqpod@gmail.com. You can go to the coffee, ultraq funds, for some subtitling things, ideally. Not enough to do anything right now. Brad.
Yeah, you can find me everywhere at BeInvoked. That's BE_INVOKED on Twitter. Same thing without the underscore on Blue Sky.
All right, sick. Join us next week for 3 more episodes of Ultraman Taro. Apparently, it's going to be a 3-part bonanza. Also, presumably, we'll have other shit to talk about as well, as we always do. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Later.
宇宙に平和が来るまでは力を合わせるんだ6兄弟太郎行くぞみんな揃い今が地球を救う時だぞ進め進め進め守れ守れ守れ我らウルトラ6兄弟ウルトラ父の教え子